G'day everyone, it's Sam. Today's Vinyasa flow is designed to give you more space in the hips to help you feel good throughout the day. We won't need any equipment for today's practice other than yourself and your yoga mat. When you're ready, we'll begin. Today's practice is going to start in balasana, child's pose. So take your two big toes to touch together at the back of the mat. Separate the knees a touch. That way when you lean forward, you feel your rib cage collapse on top of your inner thighs. Arms reach out in front, elbows drop down towards the mat, and if there's space, allow your head to rest there. So as the head rests down and your eyes soften shut, you give yourself permission to really arrive onto your mat. So I know a lot of us have spent a lot of time at home lately, so it can become easy to sort of not do anything. And I know I've been a victim of that as well. So this is a practice that you can revisit, whether it's a couple of times a week, every day if you're game. It really is going to wake up the entire body, especially around the hips and the hamstrings. So from your child's pose, see if we can start to just become aware of your breathing. So just a long in and out breath through your nose. Not trying to force or change the breath in any way. Just acknowledging how it's traveling. And you start to become a little more accustomed to the flow and the rhythm of your own breath. And we'll start to press down into the palms. Just lift the elbows up off the mat. So we get a little more active through the arms. The armpits will hollow out. And then if we push down a little more, imagine we were trying to send our hips back towards our heels. And the head will begin to float an inch or two up off the mat. So now we've come into a little more of an active variation of our balasana, child's pose. To really wake up into the feet from here, we'll lift our hips a touch so that we can tuck our toes under. And this space here, this idea of tucking toes under, is a little uncommon to a lot of us. We spend so much time wearing shoes, or foot prisons, as they're often known. So it's really good to get this beautiful stretch through the bottom of the feet. You can wiggle, moving from the big toe side of the foot out towards the pinky toe, and then back, still pressing through the hands. And take one last breath here. Then gently part your lips to release. Start to look forward, we'll come on up to all fours. If the knees are a touch wider than the hips, we'll set them back in closer towards each other. Tops of the feet will press down, we'll start to open up the spine with a few rounds of cow-cat. So on your inhale, soften your belly, let your tailbone lift up, pull your chest forward and lift your gaze. And as you exhale, the chin draws to chest. Push through the hands to round the upper and middle back. Then the tailbone curls under, and we gaze towards the thighs. Inhale, let your belly soften, gaze and tail will lift. Exhale, tuck the chin, round the back, pull the low belly in and up. Taking one more like that, inhale as you rise, chest moves forward. Exhale as you round, chest tucks away. And as we come back to a nice neutral spine, we're going to continue with cow-cat, only a little different variation. Start to walk your hands maybe about 10 centimeters further in front of where they are. So that way your hands are further in front of your shoulders. We're going to grip the mat with the fingertips, wrap the biceps forward. This time on our cow pose, as we inhale, send your hips forward and down. Arms are nice and straight, shoulders pull back, chest will rise. So it's a little bit of a modified upward facing dog. And then as we exhale, tuck your toes under, send your hips all the way back towards your heels. So we're in that child's pose shape. Toes stay tucked. Inhale, lift up, chest moves forward, hips lower, pull those shoulders back, gaze up to the ceiling. Exhale, tuck that chin around the back, press the hips back to heels, toes stay nice and tucked. So a really beautiful way to wake up into the spine. Take one more round. So getting a little more activation in the arms and the feet there as well. When you come to that final cat pose variation, we're going to hold it. So hips back towards the heels, toes stay tucked. Press into the hands from here. The knees start to lift. We guide the hips up and back, coming to our first downward facing dog. As always, when you first arrive in the downward facing dog, doesn't matter how often you practice yoga, that first one's always a little bit stiff and niggly in the back of the legs, so just pedal out through the feet there. Nice and firm through the arms. If you were to look at the hands, middle or index finger facing forward, biceps working to wrap towards the front of the room, giving you more space between the shoulder blades, allowing your chest to relax and soften a little more. And then once you find some natural stillness there in your down dog, shuffle feet a little closer to one another. And then using your inhale, reach your right leg up and back behind you. We'll push through both hands, start to roll that right hip open. And from here, bend into your right knee. It's as though your right heel was trying to come in and touch your left glute. We'll take a soft bend into our left knee. Press through both hands a little more firm. See if we can send the right knee up higher. And then if there's space, straighten through that left leg, any capacity, whatever works for you right now. And take a full breath here. And as we exhale, we're going to lift that left heel, take the right knee, see if we can tap the left elbow. So it's a gentle twist coming across the body. Boop. Then inhale, reach that right leg back up towards the sky. Keep the knee bent. We'll open the hip. That's our breath in. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. Come forward and tap. Inhale, we take the leg to sky, open the hip, leg stays bent. Exhale, right knee to left elbow, come across the body and tap. This time as we take the right leg back to sky, it's going to stay straight, so press the heel straight back behind you, full breath. Then lift that left heel as you draw the right knee to chest. Look forward, we'll step the right foot between the hands, and then lower the back knee down onto the mat. Keeping the back toes tucked under. We'll come on up, interlace the fingers into Kali Mudra, this little pistol grip, and drive our hips forward and down, start to reach the arms up and back. So we're finding this circular motion of energy. Everything's moving sort of like this. Pelvis moving forward and down, arms and chest reach up and back, creating the shape of a crescent moon. So back toes stay tucked under, inner thighs draw towards each other. We'll take one last breath, lift the chest higher. And then as you exhale, take the fingertips to the earth, either side of the right foot. Send your hips back. Just work to straighten through your right leg and lift your right toes up off the mat. So coming into Ardha Hanumanasana, or halfway split. For today, we'll keep our back toes tucked under because we just really want to get comfortable with that shape there, that idea of keeping the toes tucked. And pull the shoulder blades down the back, send the chest forward. See if we can lift the chest a little higher as we breathe in. And as you exhale, bend the elbows, see if you can lower your chest a little closer towards your right thigh. And we'll take two more like that. So inhale to lift, straighten the arms. Exhale, bend the elbows to lower. One last time, inhale to rise. Exhale, bend those elbows to lower down. And next time as we come on up, we'll bend the right knee, ground the foot down. Then lift the left knee up off the mat and step your left foot up to meet your right. In the inhale, take a halfway lift. So it's the first round. You might want to slide your hands up your shins as you press your chest away from your thighs. And then exhale to fold forward. We'll bend into the knees. Let everything hang nice and heavy. Together using our in-breath, reach the arms all the way up and overhead. Look up towards your hands. And then exhale, pull the palms together at heart center. Find samastitihi, and allow your thumbs to press in towards your sternum and close your eyes for a moment. So whatever brought you to practice today, there's always some reason for getting on the mat. Whether it's physical, spiritual, mental, whatever it is for you, today we'll practice in honor of that. So with the chin dropping towards the chest, take your thumbs, press them between third eye center. Align your thoughts to a focus, an intention, a dedication, whatever it might be for your practice today. We'll take an in-breath. Open the mouth and release. And then keeping those thumbs pressed between the eyes, keeping chin dropped towards the chest, just open your eyes for a moment, gaze down towards your feet. You want to set the feet about hip width distance apart, take a gentle bend into your knees. And then from here, we'll interlace the fingers and take the palms to the back of the neck. We're allowing the elbows to draw in towards each other. The back of the head to press into the palms. And then take a soft bend into your knees, then inhale to straighten the legs, lift the chest, look up, elbows point towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bend your knees and fold over your thighs. So allowing the head to stay nice and heavy. Allow a gentle bend in your knees and the elbows to fall in towards each other. A gentle rock from side to side here. Really releasing tension through the back of the neck. One of the first places we tend to carry tension is the back of the neck. One of the last places we let it go as well. So sometimes we need a little more attention to really make sure the head is letting go. And then rest your hands down towards the earth. Take a halfway lift, breath in. From here, the right leg will stay. Extend the left leg back nice and long. Then lower that left knee down. Left hand will stay underneath the left shoulder. Inhale to reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Press down through that left hand. See if you can peel the right side of the body up a little bit higher. And with the back toes still tucked under, see if you can send your left knee a little further back. Peel the right shoulder higher and maybe reach the right arm back towards the left foot. You're finding a gentle opening here. Really pressing down through that left hand, wrapping the left bicep forward. We'll take one last breath. As you exhale, circle the right hand underneath the right shoulder. Lift the back knee up off the mat. And without sweeping the right foot across the earth, see if you can push down through the hands to step the right foot back to plank pose. And press the heels back as though they were pressing into a wall. At the same time, we move the chest and the crown of the head forward. Wrap the biceps towards the front. We'll take a breath here. Exhale, lower the knee. Start to guide your chest forward, bend your elbows, we'll lower all the way to the floor. So hopefully the hands ended up underneath the elbows rather than the shoulders. If they're a little further in front, just slide them back. Now tops of the feet will press down here, knees will start to lift. Inhale, cobra pose. So shoulder blades roll towards each other, elbows hug in, chest will rise, crown of the head reaches forward. And the exhale will lower down. And we'll do two more like that. So inhale, feet press down, knees lift, chest rises. Exhale to lower. Last time together, inhale for cobra pose. Arms get a little straighter this time. Press through the inner part of your hand. Exhale, drop your head. Tuck your toes, press up onto hands and knees. Then guide your hips back, lift them up, downward facing dog. Feet a little closer to one another. We'll use our inhale to reach our left leg up and back behind us. Rolling that left hip open, we'll bend the knee, squeezing left heel in towards the right glute. Taking a soft bend into your right knee to allow the left knee to lift higher, and then if there's space, straighten that right leg. Maybe the right heel moves a little closer towards the floor. Pushing through both hands. Shoulders stay nice and square. Left hip lifts a little higher. Take one last breath. Exhale, right heel lifts. Left knee rolls forward, taps the back of the right elbow. Cross body connection. Then inhale, left leg to sky. Open the hip, leg stays bent. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Come forward, tap. Last time with the twist. Inhale to open the hip. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. This time as we take the leg to sky, it stays straight, so flex the toes, press the heel up and back behind you. Then lift your right heel, draw the left knee to chest. Set the foot between the hands, lower the back knee down. Back toes stay tucked. Pistol grip the fingers, inhale, reach your arms up and back as you send the hips forward and down. Inner left thigh hugs towards the midline, right glute is firm. Maybe biceps line up with the ears, maybe they move a little further back if you have a little more space. Take one last breath. Exhale, hands frame the left foot, we guide the hips back, straighten the left leg. So you don't have to be super close towards the floor. The hips can stay nice and high there. It is the first straight leg experience we've played with in the practice. So take it nice and easy. Hamstrings are always a bit of a pain in the bum to open, especially in the morning. So flex the left toes towards the face. Pull the shoulders back. Send the chest forward. Take a breath in. Exhale, elbows bend, we lower the chest, any amount. Inhale, straighten the arms to rise. Exhale, bend the elbows to lower. And last one like that. And this time as we start to slowly lift our chest, bend the left knee enough so you can ground the left foot flat. Back knee will lift, we step the right foot up to meet the left. Fingertips on earth this time, inhale, halfway lift, spine is long. Exhale to fold, elbows bend, palms flat, the head drops. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up and overhead, look up towards your thumbs. Exhale, pull the palms together at heart, set the feet hip width distance apart. Inhale to rise, Urdhva Hastasana, look up. Exhale to bow forward, Uttanasana, a little bend in the knees. Inhale, taking halfway lift on the fingertips, chest moves forward, then left foot stays this time. Extend the right leg back long, lower the back knee down, keep those right toes tucked. Right hand underneath right shoulder, inhale, peel your left arm up towards the sky. So we're going for up rather than letting the left arm fall back behind us, so push down to lift. If you can, set the right knee back a little further behind you. Take an inhale. Exhale, left arm will reach back towards the right foot. You're gazing back towards your left thumb. Inner left thigh hugging towards the midline. Navel pulls to spine. We'll take a breath. As we exhale, circle left hand underneath the left shoulder. Back knee lifts. Palms press flat without sweeping the left foot. We pick it up, step it back to plank pose. The knees can stay lifted this time. Heels press back, chest moves forward. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows. We lower all the way down. Chest moves forward slightly. Tops of feet press down. Inhale, cobra pose. Shoulders roll back, chest will rise. Exhale, lower the head. Inhale, chest will rise, shoulders roll back, cobra pose. Exhale to lower down. So this one's going to be a little bit different. Inhale, rise for your cobra pose first. So shoulder blades roll back towards each other, elbows hug in. Arms are flirting with the idea of becoming straight. We press through the feet, this time lift the thighs up off the mat for upward facing dog. Take a soft bend in your elbows to pull the shoulder heads back. Push down through the hands to lift the knees a little higher away from the floor. Take an inhale. Exhale, hips lift up and back for downward facing dog. And we begin to walk our hands back towards our feet, arriving in a forward fold at the back of the mat. And take the first two fingers of either hand and wrap them around the inside of the big toes. Take a bend into the knees and lift your chest. Inhale. And as you exhale, bend your elbows to pull yourself down for Padangustasana. Shoulder blades roll down the back as the brain releases a little closer towards the floor. Make sure that head is nice and heavy. You can play with the idea of straightening the legs only if your rib cage still stays connected to your thighs. We want to keep that connection there. So if that means you need to bend the knees a lot, fantastic. And take a full breath here. And open the mouth, side out. And release the toes. Take a halfway lift. Then lift your heels up off the mat. Lower the knees down to the earth. And sit the hips back on top of the heels, keeping those toes tucked under. So this toes pose is once again a great space to really stretch through the bottom of the foot. It does feel comfortable for some. After a while, maybe it's a little bit excruciating. So if that's the case for you, just untuck the toes whenever you need to. We're going to interlace the hands behind the back. Pull the shoulder blades towards each other. Inhale to lift your chest. So broadening through the collarbones, opening through the chest, the front of the shoulders. If we can, we press the palms together. And take a bend in the elbows. Take both of your fists and just rest them on top of your left hip. Then hug that left elbow in towards the body. Allow your left ear to move towards your left shoulder. So getting a deeper opening through the right side of your neck, your trapezius muscle, all the way down into your shoulders, your right shoulder rather. Take a breath here. And exhale, we'll come back to center. And keep that bend in the elbows. Just transfer both of your fists above your right hip.
Pull the right elbow in towards the body and allow your right ear to move towards your right shoulder. Flex your left bicep if you can. Feel that release on the left side of the neck. You play with lifting your chin and lower it down just a touch. See the difference in sensation there. All the way up into the jaw. One last breath. And exhale, we'll come back to center. Release the hands, inhale, arms to sky. Then exhale, we'll take our hands to the mat. Come back to downward facing dog. Giving yourself a few moments to breathe here in your downward facing dog. If you've lost them, coming back to those even length, in and out through the nose if we can. And if you're looking back towards your feet, we'll just shuffle the feet a little closer towards each other. Pressing down through the ball of the left foot. Inhale, reach your right leg up and back behind you. Start to roll your right hip open like we did before. Bend the knee. Now from here, we'll lift the left heel nice and high. Start to fall off onto the outside edge of the left foot. Deliver the ball of the right foot off the left-hand side of the mat for wild things. Lifting hips and heart up towards the sky. Working to reach the right arm forward. Take a little more of a bend in that right knee. So really press down through the ball of the foot to pivot the hips and heart up towards the sky a little more. Maybe if there's space, you bend the right elbow, rest the right hand to the base of the neck. Deliver your right armpit up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale. On the exhale, look to the top of the mat. Set the right hand down. Roll onto the left toes. Inhale, right leg to sky. Then exhale, right knee will move to the left elbow, just like it did before. This time we'll extend the right leg out to the left-hand side. Keep both palms pressing flat, the back heel lifting, just shift weight back and forwards on the ball of the left foot. Now I love this stretch because it really gets into the IT band and the outside of the right hip, which is a challenge to get into in most traditional yogic poses. If you have more space, flex the right toes, see if you can slide the right foot out a little more to the left-hand side. Shuffle the right hand so it's directly underneath the right shoulder. Drop your back heel down. Inhale, reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. So we're in our fallen triangle, flexing right toes towards. Maybe your right foot slides out a little further, depends what sort of flooring you have. If there's space, left arm can reach to the front of the room. You can bend the left elbow, take the hand to the back of the neck, deliver the left armpit up towards the ceiling here. Hold for the inhale. And the exhale, gaze to top of mat, left hand under left shoulder, roll onto the left toes, pull the right knee in towards the chest, press down through the hands. And nice and easy, we're going to deliver the right foot wider than the right hand and lower the back knee down onto the mat. So like we did before, we're going to come into a twist. Option to take it a little further here if you like. So left hand underneath the left shoulder. Inhale to reach your right arm up towards the sky. If there's space, shuffle the left knee a little further back behind you. Reach the right arm back towards the left foot. And if it's available, bending up the left knee will work to catch hold with the outside edge of the left foot. So that space just outside the pinky toe. From here, shuffling your right foot out a little wider, fall off onto the outside edge of the right foot. Peel that right shoulder blade back, and if there's space, walk your left arm forward and lower your left elbow down towards the mat. So finding a deeper opening through the front of your left hip here, and the inside of your right hip. If we fall off onto the outside edge of that right foot, keep bending that right elbow to draw the left heel in a little closer. Take one last breath. As we exhale, we gently release the left foot. Set the hands underneath the shoulders. Begin to shuffle your right foot over towards your left wrist as we prepare our body for pigeon pose on the right-hand side. So the right knee will fall out towards the right-hand side. Left heel will line up just around right heel will line up just around the left hip joint. We'll extend the left leg back behind us. Then press down through the top of your left foot. See if you can lift your left knee for a moment. Just allowing the front of that left hip to activate. You feel that left hip wrapping forward. You can lower the left knee back down. And maybe reach the arms forward. Allow your elbows to drop. And perhaps your head. Pigeon pose is definitely one of those poses that never gets any easier. Doesn't matter how long you've been practicing. I know for myself, whenever I get here, as soon as I arrive, I think, oh yeah, that's right, this is challenging. So we're working to rest the forehead onto something. If you're watching this screen thinking, Sam, why isn't your head resting? It's only because I don't want the sound to be too muffled there on the microphone. So we're working for extension. You're sending the left toes further back as you reach the arms further forward, getting long from one end to the next. And just give yourself 3 more of your own breaths there in your pose. In and out through the nose if you can. Taking one last breath in. This time part the lips. And begin to walk the hands back towards the body. From here, simply fall off onto your right hip and swing your left leg out in front of you. You can use your left hand for support if you like. Working to take the sole of the right foot inside the left thigh. Right knee will fall out towards the right hand side. Left leg's extended long out in front of us. I'm going to flex those left toes towards the face. Turn the torso slightly over your left leg. And then using your inhale, reach your arms up. And on the exhale from the pelvis, we'll fold forward over that left leg. So aiming here to allow forearms and elbows to lower down to the earth first. Shoulder blades to pull back as we guide the collarbones closer towards the left toes. If we can, keeping a little life in the left foot by flexing the toes towards the face. And if there's space, allow your head to drop, releasing through the back of the neck. For my friends who have a little more space here in the pose, you can take your right hand to the outside of your left foot, and then your left hand to the inside of the foot. And then as you bend both elbows, you can allow your chest to move further forward down towards your foot. Taking a full inhale through your nose, and release that breath through the mouth. Begin to come on up to a seat. As we do, taking the right arm behind the back, we'll press forward onto the right shin, lift the hips, reach the left arm back behind you. Again, you can bend your left elbow, take the hand to the base of the neck, send the left armpit up towards the ceiling, breathe in. As we exhale, we come out the same way, lowering the hips. Left leg will stay where it is. Grab hold of the right ankle, pop the right foot on the outside of the left thigh. So we're coming into a twist here. So right foot set on the outside of the left thigh, working to ground it flat. Left toes are still flexing towards the face. We're going to take the right arm behind the back, inhale to reach the left arm up. Then as you exhale, hook that left elbow over the outside of the right thigh. And take a gentle twist back over your right shoulder. So this right hand is working here to stop you from falling back. It's pressing you to lift you up taller. If you can, make sure there's still a bit of life and activation in the left toes. Keep flexing them. We'll inhale to grow taller. And exhale to twist a little more. And then as we work our way around to the left-hand side, we'll take our fingertips to the earth. Just bend your elbows, allow your chest to lower down. So just working to counteract that twist there. Not chasing any particular alignment here in this shape. It's super important after we twist just to counter and come around to the other side. So after we lift ourselves up, it's just a journey back to downward facing dog. So cross one ankle over the next, rock forward. As you set the hands down, step the feet back, lift the hips up nice and high. Take a little pedal out through the feet. We spend a little bit of time on the floor there. It'll feel nice just to readjust. You can pretend this is the first downward facing dog you've taken of the practice. And once you start to feel a little more comfortable there in your shape, right foot's going to shuffle a little closer to the left. Then inhale, we'll reach the left leg up and back behind us. Roll the hip open, bend the knee, coming into wild things. So lift that right heel, fall off onto the outside edge of the foot, Ground the ball of the left foot down. Pivot, reach the hips and heart up towards the sky. Send the left arm forward to the front of the room. You want to press down heavy through the inner part of your right hand, and if you have space, left hand to the base of the neck. Deliver the left armpit up. Push to lift the hips. Take an inhale. Exhale, gaze to the mat. Left hand to top. Roll onto right toes. Left leg to sky. Then as we exhale, left knee is going to find the right elbow. Come across the body. Extend the left leg out towards the right hand side. For a moment, everything else stays the same. So back heel is lifting. We're shifting back and forwards. Just allowing the outside of that left hip to open. See if you can slide that left heel out a little further to the right hand side. Shuffle the left hand directly underneath the left shoulder. Drop the back heel, reach the right arm up towards the ceiling, find your fallen triangle. Pressing down through the left hand to reach the right arm up higher, pulling navel in towards the spine. If there's space, peel the right arm forward, lift the hips high up, maybe right hand to the base of the neck. Right armpit to ceiling. Feel that opening through the right side of the belly, the obliques, the intercostals. Take an inhale. Exhale. Right hand to the top of the mat. Roll onto the right toes. Left knee draws to chest. Then nice and easy, deliver left foot to the outside of the left hand. Lower the back knee down. Working to come into a little deeper of that twist variation we played with before. So shuffling right hand underneath the right shoulder. Inhale, left arm reaches up towards the sky. You can shuffle your left foot out a little wider. Fall off onto the outside edge of the foot. Start to reach the left arm back behind you. And if you find the space, bend up the right knee, catch the pinky side edge of your foot. Allow your left shoulder to peel back, the left elbow to bend as you draw that foot in a little closer towards you. So again, you don't have to catch the foot. Maybe you're just pressing into the top of the right toes to get a little more activation there. But if you did on the previous side, maybe we take that right forearm down. Just finding a deeper level of twist sensation there. Left knee opens out towards the left-hand side. Right heel draws in towards the right glute. Super juicy opening here. Excuse me for using that word. I try and avoid using it in yoga as much as I can. Take one last breath. Exhale, gently release the right foot. Hands underneath the shoulders. Left foot will shuffle over towards the right wrist. Set ourselves up for the pigeon pose on the left-hand side. So left knee will fall out to left. Left heel will line up with the right hip joint. If you're a little more flexible, maybe your left shin looks a little more parallel to the top edge of the mat, but for us mere mortals, your shin's probably going to be more on a 45-degree angle, and that's perfectly fine. Extend the right leg back behind you a little more. Press down through the top of the right foot to lift the knee. Just feel that activation in the front of the right hip. Then work to take yourself down to a variation of the pose where you feel strong, supported. So what we're trying to avoid here is falling off onto the left hip. So if you have some support, pardon me, you might want to pop something underneath your left hip, or just imagine you had a yoga block underneath the left side of the body. Extending from one end to the next, fingers reach forward, right toes backwards. Again, looking to find somewhere to rest your head, maybe close your eyes and just concentrate on your breathing. It's going to be 3 more of your own breaths. Looking to extend the length of your breathing rather than rushing through just so you can come out of the pose. Take one last breath here. This time, part the lips. Audible exhale. As we walk the hands back towards the body, nice and easy, fall onto the left hip. Swing the right leg out in front of you. So sole of the left foot inside the right thigh. Right leg nice and long out in front of us. As the right toes flex towards, we turn our torso gently over the right leg. Inhale to reach your arms up. Then exhale to dive forward. And we're going for length here in the spine rather than rounding in the upper back. So pull the shoulder blades back. Drop the elbows to the earth. Maybe you catch the back of the right ankle here. Keeping life in the right foot. That dorsiflexion in the ankle is just going to give you a little more activation in the calf muscle. And if you have more space, left hand to the outside of the foot, right hand to the inside. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bend the elbows, move your chest further forward, allow your head to drop. As we gently release the foot, we'll begin to come up to a seat. Countering that pose, taking left arm behind the back, pressing to lift the hips, reaching the right arm back behind you. Peeling hips and heart up, bending that right elbow, taking the right hand to the base of the neck. Inhale to lift the hips higher. And exhale to gently lower your hips down. This time extending both legs out nice and long in front of you, just giving them a little shake and a bash out on the mat. Look back behind you, make sure you have a lot of length of your mat. If not, shuffle your hips further forward. We're going to take our hands around the ankles, lower ourselves down onto the back, setting the feet up underneath the knees. So we're going to rinse out through a bridge pose before we come down to rest. You're going to pull the shoulder blades back towards you. Make sure you can graze the ankles with the fingertips or get reasonably close. So we want the bottom and the feet to be nice and close towards one another. We'll bend up the elbows, press the elbows into the earth, start to tuck the tailbone under and guide the hips up, finding bridge pose. So glutes are firm, inner thighs hug towards each other. We'll interlace the hands behind the back, see if we can shimmy the shoulder blades towards each other a little more as we press through the heels to guide the shin bones backwards. Feeling a strong opening through the chest and shoulders, into the belly, the front of your hips as well. Inner thighs are active as they draw towards each other. Feet are grounded flat, 10 toes facing the front of the room. Take one last breath here. As you exhale, bend your elbows, release your hands, allow your hips to lower down to the floor. Shuffle the feet out a little wider. Allow the knees to knock together. Take the arms out like two arms of a cactus. And from here, keeping the feet nice and wide, just allow both knees to fall off to the left. And lifting knees up and over, and take them both off to the right-hand side. Just working to release through your hips. We'll do that 2 more times on either side. Moving with control. We should end up finishing on the right-hand side there. When you're ready, we'll come back to center. Hug the knees into chest, cross one ankle over the next. Wrap your hands around the shins. Pull the knees up towards the armpits. And if there's space, take the hands to the soles of the feet, draw the knees to the outside of the ribs for happy baby. If you find the space, perhaps the legs can work to straighten. Let's take one last breath here. As we exhale, work to release the legs one at a time. Take the feet just as wide as the mat. Allow the 10 toes to fall out to either side. Tucking the tailbone under. Allowing the back of the hands to rest down onto the mat. The toes to fall out to either side. Allow your mind to slow down, your breath to slow, your eyes to close. And stay as long as you need here in Shavasana.